Good morning, and welcome back to the Financial Pillars All About the Money podcast presented by Our Neutral Voices. Our show is all about helping our audience understand money, mindsets, and tap into the economic knowledge that builds financial secure individuals, families, and communities. So whether you're tuning in to our show to learn about budgeting, building credit, investing, or starting your own business, we're here to break down the knowledge in a real and relatable way. We got a full house here for you this morning, so let's start off with a few intros. I'm your host, Ryan Leopard. I'm a private banker with Star Financial Bank. Now I'm going to kick it over to my man, Mr. Fort Wayne.
Hey, good morning. Glad to be back. I'm JJ Foster with Lake City Bank, a loan originator, and a lot of financial folks in here this morning, Ryan.
Yes, absolutely. Ben, you want to introduce yourself to our audience, new face on the set?
Good morning. My name is Ben Weibel. I'm a branch manager at Flagstaff Bank. I've been in the banking industry for 10 years. I'm very excited about the opportunity to continue to learn, impart knowledge, and have this ongoing conversation. Particularly very interested in investing and budgeting, saving. I think it's such a key instrument for anyone who is eager to learn about finance, whether it's just a personal adventure or an ongoing thing that you're working on. I'm very excited again to be here. Thank you, Ryan.
You're welcome, Ben. Thank you. And last but not least, my man, Sweet Tea.
Hi, this is Sweet Tea here from Greenway Bank. I am a business banker. I've also had several years in the banking industry, and it's great to be back here with my hosts, Ryan and JJ as well, and to welcome some other new faces as well.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and get started with our special guest today. We have CEO of Urban Beginnings, Choice Federal Credit Union, Miss Diane Starks. Diane, welcome to the All About the Money show.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm Diane Starks, and I am the CEO of Urban Beginnings Choice Federal Credit Union. Been with the credit union just a little over 4 years, and just glad to be here. Thank you guys for the invitation.
Awesome. So we wanted to have you on the show today, kind of talk to us about, the banking world and a term that I wasn't necessarily familiar with until JJ mentioned that to me last night. But let's start off there. CDFI. Tell us what that means.
Yes, CDFI is a community development financial institution, and we are one of 3 here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. We provide access to capital to our underserved area, and where there may be barriers from getting loans, being banked and unbanked, we allow them to do that. We get funds from the federal government to give back into our community.
Gotcha. Very good.
Now, I'd like to back up a little bit. Okay. You jump right into CDFIs, but you're sitting amongst all these bankers. Mm-hmm. What's the difference between a credit union and a bank, for starters?
Right. Banks are have their shareholders. Credit unions, every member is the owner of the bank. And so you as a member, you're the owner of our bank. You're a part of our ownership of the bank. So that's one of the big differences.
Okay. How did you guys get started? Where did your credit union, where did that come from?
Yes, Urban Beginnings Choice began in 2006 under the leadership of Pastor Sylvester Hunter at Union Baptist Church. And at that time, it was just for the church and its members and any of their immediate family. Fast forward a little bit, in 2014, the credit union became, in 2007, we were certified by the NCUA. And so we are chartered through the NCUA. And then in 2014, we became a CDFI. So as the credit union has kind of grown, I came in 2021. And at that time, again, it was still kind of with the church. We had one additional affiliate. However, members had to come into the church to get their balance. We didn't have online banking. So if you want to know your balance, you had to come to the finance room to get that. If you wanted to deposit or withdraw, you had to come to do that. Now we do have online banking. We just added ACH, which has been a huge success and a game changer for our credit union because we do high-risk loans. It allows us to draft out of members' accounts without them having to come in. And it has definitely helped our delinquency rate.
Okay. Now give me one more and I'm going to turn it over to you guys. But so now we got the credit union and we talked CDFI. What is that? What's that merge? What's that connection look like? How did that come about?
Yeah. being a CDFI it's I'd say an honor. It's a great classification for our credit union. We're able to do high risk loans that other traditional banks may or may not do. We don't have high interest rates. Our interest rates, actually, our highest is 14%, and that's for a used automobile. We do personal loans, auto loans, and then we also do a lot of financial literacy. So our CDFI allows us, if someone has had some credit challenges or currently has credit challenges, we're able to maybe do a loan to get them a vehicle so that they got to still go to work, get kids to back and forth to school. But we kind of, that barrier that they may have, we're that solution for individuals like that.
Gotcha. Approximately how many members do you have at this time?
Right now we have 275 members. We are, of course, trying to grow our credit union. We are still faith-based, but we're also a multi-common bond, which means that we can bring on additional affiliates. So it can be an organization, such as like New Covenant is one of our affiliates that's faith-based that has joined the credit union. We're in the process of reaching out to organizations because here's the thing: if your organization is a part of the credit union, then any member of that organization can be a part of the credit union and be able to access the services that we provide.
Gotcha. Very good. Very good. Ben, you want to jump in? Any questions?
One thing that I really liked is the fact that your organization is doing high risk loans, and I'm very sure it's tapping on to a community that doesn't have access to loans. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the impact that you've had in terms of reaching such demographics?
It's heart touching. I can just be honest. To know, of course, so I review the loan applications that come in, and to know if someone may have had some collections on their credit report. I'm face to face talking with them, knowing they need a vehicle to get back and forth, or they may, they want to try to buy a home, but they have some collections on there. So we may do a small loan for those collections, and then while their credit score is increasing, that's been paid off and allow them to kind of, have the dream that they want to be a homeowner and to get a vehicle. So the stories are just, it's touching. That's all I can say.
Totally love
One situation I will honestly say, a member was, payday loans. They were out there predatorial. She was paying $200 biweekly, and only $20 was going to
The principal.
the principal.
Wow.
And so when taking that back to our loan committee, we were just in awe at first. And then we also this is what we're here for. We need to help this member get out of this situation. So we refinanced that loan, allowed her to pay that, of course, definitely lower rates with us. And so those kind of differences we make.
That's impressive. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, I don't think you may or may not have touched on this, but you guys, the other thing with credit unions, you're not for profit.
That is correct.
So when you talk about everything that you're talking about, where banks, you walk into a bank, it's black and white. You're denied or approved.
Yeah.
Like you're talking financial literacy, you're taking on folks that have these problems. And that's something that people, really need to understand about a credit union. And
that is true. It's I know that the credit union is making a difference. Even the 4 years that I've been here, we made some huge differences in some individuals' lives. And I know there's plenty more that we can do. And so that's why we do get grants to be able to give, to do loans. We get grants for that. We're also always wanting to increase our membership so that we can have finances to be able to give back into our community. Of course, we make the more loans, of course, that's income coming back to the credit union. But again, we need assets just to continue to do that as well.
All right. And yes. So based off of everything that you've said so far and everything that I've heard, just to piggyback off of what JJ had to say, in terms of larger banks, it's more clear cut, black and white. It's either a yes or a clear cut no. In a sense, would you say that your credit union is almost like a second chance banking for those individuals that didn't have the chance to get approved at those larger main functioning branches?
Yes, most definitely. We're definitely a second chance and sometime a third, fourth, and fifth, but we allow individuals to, hey, everyone has made mistakes, financial mistakes, and myself, younger. However, we allow them to, do that second chance to restart over. I remember when I interviewed for the position, that was one program I said, everyone deserves a fresh start. You may be at a different level in your life and things, lives and things change. And so those kind of things, we're able to definitely make a difference.
Absolutely, absolutely. And over the years of you being at that credit union, of course, being able to help all those underserved individuals and all those underprivileged individuals, I guess in a sense, over the course of the next 5 years, what is your envision for your credit union as far as being able to help and grow the community more?
Oh, yeah. I envision next 5 years. Right now, we have just the one location. That we'll have a second location. Our assets will be double what it is now. And then we're able to impact the individuals even, more, I'd say double, even more. I feel like as we continue to increase our field of membership, then that's going to reach more individuals for us to be able to touch. So if someone knows, hey, Urban Beginnings Choice can help, and that's kind of, we get that now, that we can help, then they tell maybe a family member. And so it kind of can help bounce off someone. So as someone gets encouraged, it can kind of encourage someone else. So I see us definitely making even a bigger impact in our community.
So with that, sorry, JJ. So with that one location, how would you describe your deposit base?
Our deposit base. So of course we have, I said, 275 members. We definitely would want even our members today to have more deposits, make more deposits, and because that's going to help grow the credit union. And so that's one thing with the financial literacy. We've done budgeting, we've done credit. We this month was youth banking. So earlier this month we had a financial literacy, and we kind of did it off Family Feud, and the kids interact with adults. So it was a mix of kids and adults. And so as the financial literacy, individuals learn more and do better, then I can see that increase in, a savings. We're working on a grant right now for match savings. And so we're all excited because that can challenge someone that's not saving to save. And then hopefully we'll get that grant to match some dollars.
Sure.
And I've got all the different activities like you mentioned. There's only certain type of banking that you guys do at the credit union. Personalized stuff, as you talk about autos. So when you get down to home purchases and things of that nature, I know with the CDFI, and as I look around the country, they partner with a lot of different banks and things. What would a partnership look like for you guys? What are some things that you would ask from a banking institution?
Although we don't do mortgages now, but that is something that's on our strategic plan to begin. It would be funds or capital, I would say, to be able to do the mortgages. Whether we may be the face of it, and maybe they were sold off, but allow us to be into that realm of mortgages. So if it was something I would say to a bank that may have, I know we talked about CRA earlier, that we would get involved with them to be able to have those funds to, because our credit union can make, capital from those funds from the mortgage.
Okay.
Yeah.
And not to mention, I know when we do different things with different organizations, excuse me, like you said, you're working with these folks at a grassroots level, and that makes a difference too. Through our eyes, from a lender standpoint, that if we know you're there, you're properly vetting that borrower. That gives the bank, that extra layer of comfort, knowing that who they're giving the money to. So
yeah, and it would make a big impact. I just can't express enough how much it definitely impacts individuals. And sometimes individuals come, they feel a little embarrassed, and I'm always like, hey, we all have been there and done that, but you're making a change now. And so those kind of impacts, whether it's a new homeowner, something like that. So that would definitely help.
All righty. Ryan, you ain't never been this quiet, so I know you
We got a lot of questions.
know
on
you
there,
got
lots of questions. So, yeah, I know we talk on this show a lot about, kind of the distrust of banks and credit unions when it comes to like inner city, impoverished minority communities. Can you kind of speak to that and how do you run into that a lot, or?
Yes, we do. Even myself being the CEO, so we're Black led, we're not Black owned. So even individuals seeing my face, hopefully it'll allow them to see that we're not going to judge them. We're going to give them an opportunity. But you do still have some that think well, I may know Diane, and so I don't want Diane knowing this. So those kind of things. But if they just kind of put that aside, Diane's here to help. Urban Beginnings Choice is here to help you, especially if it's a service that we provide. We also, I wanted to mention that we have credit card services. So if you want to do a fresh start and get a secure card, you can do that. Or you can get a rewards card from us too, travel cards. So we don't just do just individuals with barriers. If you have good credit, you can still get a credit card with us, and also, the rewards and things like that.
But then to help combat that, the fact that, like you said, you guys are utilizing memberships of the church as well. So therefore, when you talk about that, that eliminates some of those barriers that you're talking about. If I can trust my pastor. This is my pastor's credit union.
Kind of working on a
This
referral
Right.
basis there, right?
Yeah.
Church is referring them over there.
And so and that's the thing, right, JJ? As churches join, as a church join, all their members can be a part of it. So they trust in that, hey, our pastor is supporting this credit union. And so members follow their pastors, right? And so I've reached out to quite a few churches to get them to join. And I'll still continue to do that because we are faith-based. And so we'll continue to go that avenue as well.
So is that kind of your main task for like growing the business now? Growing that membership is through the churches, through their members?
Yeah, because we're faith-based, it would be that faith-based. And then we're multi-common bond where we can bring in organizations. So we have organizations. So like the NAACP is an affiliate. And so any member of the NAACP can become a member of the credit union. So other organizations that might want to join so that their members or their employees, we can do employee as well. So if a business wants to join, then all of their employees could become members. Like with New Covenant, they have a daycare, so the parents of the students can become, because they're a part of that affiliate.
I love the concept. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, going back to the financial literacy piece of that, because that's obviously what interests us here. That's what we do. What does that look like? Is that something that you hold regular, classes? Is that for members only, or what does that look like to you?
Our financial literacy, this year, our financial literacy committee took it to a different level. So we call it First Thursday. So every first Thursday of the month, we host a different topic, and we do that right at the Seed Building at 1830 Wayne Trace. It's open to the public. We do have like a QR code that you can register from our website. They do a lot of social media advertising of that as well. And we try to, to register so we can have enough food for everyone. But, if God multiplies, we always have enough. So it's open to the public and anyone can come. So it's open. Yeah.
Well, partner, I know you thinking like I'm thinking. You guys do anything with the youth? Because, we're looking at pushing our youth curriculum out there and looking for somebody to partner with.
Yes. Yeah.
How do we get the youth?
How do we get
them to
and-
attend?
and
How do we
that's
get
the
them to
thing
see the
with-
value in
Yeah,
that?
and we definitely was like, that's why, like I said, at the beginning of this month, we did that youth bank. We did a youth banking. Let me just back up. We did youth banking end of last year, maybe September through November. We partnered with Covenant Concepts, and we did a 6-week youth banking, and we had from elementary, and then we had a class of high schoolers. The high schoolers kind of focused on like buying a stock, gave them some real scenarios of buying stock. In the youth, the elementary kids, we did every week. It was some different topic that we did. So the kids enjoyed it. We had little, of course, little treats for them, toys and things like that, prizes for them to get. But it was great. We had a total of, I think, 15 kids. So 15 is a lot to reach on the first time. But definitely youth is, I know with my children, I didn't do financial with them, but I have a whole bunch of grandkids that I do. And so to make that difference, again, we know better, we do better. And so now we definitely all about helping the youth to do that right now. Get financial in their minds now. Don't buy all their money with Roblox. Those are things we would tell them. Save some of that money. At least try to save $1 if you get
Preach.
$10. Yeah,
Roblox,
yeah, I know,
yeah,
right?
Fortnite.
Yeah. So we were telling, if you make $10, try to save $2. If you can't save $2, at least try to save $1. So we were focusing on that to the kids. Yeah.
Very good.
I love
Ben,
that.
you want to jump in?
Yeah, I love that. The unique abilities that we all have in this table, and particularly you, Diane, the way you've really found a unique way to attract your clientele. And I love the fact that you're really imparting knowledge to young kids and you're letting them know, you're teaching them how to invest stocks. I can just relate it back to myself in terms of growing up in a household where I did not have anyone who taught me how to save money or investing money and all that, and having to navigate life to learning that out. Learning that out later in life. So it's really impressive about what you've done in terms of just the education piece, and I hope you continue with that. It's such a great opportunity for you and the community that you serve, and I'm very confident you're going to excel in it.
Thank you. Yeah, we're still excited. I'm always fired up. So I get fired up, especially when I know that we've made a difference. Someone was in my office just the other day, Monday, and I literally felt like crying because I know that it really made a difference in this individual's life.
Particularly feel the impact.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, and I'm not trying to steal the thunder from Mr. Ben over there, but in terms of what you do for the community, I really do want to commend you on that, and especially how you set yourself aside from what larger banks are typically used to with the black and white, of course. I guess in a sense, with you being able to reach out to the younger generations, adults as well, anybody that needs that financial literacy, I really just want to commend you on that, because a lot of financial institutions that I've been present in myself will not take the extra step to make sure that they're going above and beyond for all of their clients. So I just really wanted to commend you upon that. And I guess my question for you would be in a regard to that is, when it comes to you going above and beyond for your clients and giving them that financial literacy and letting them know that just because you've hit a rough patch in your life with your finances doesn't mean that this is the end. Would you say that brings you a lot of joy? Do you get like a lot of positive feedback from your clients that come to you when they feel like they are down and trodden and don't feel like they have another chance to basically, try again in the banking industry?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, they come a little reserved, thinking, "Oh, I already been told no. I know it's not going to work." And once kind of reviewing things with them, the application, and taking it to the credit committee and letting them know, hey, you were approved. And we do that a lot with auto loans. Get them pre-approved so that when they go to the dealership, they can walk tall, they can walk proud. They don't got to worry about them trying to run their credit a whole bunch of times, and they can select the vehicle that they've already been pre-approved for that dollar amount. So that makes a difference, too, for them to go out to that dealership and get that vehicle that they want. And knowing they're already pre-approved because we've already went through the process. So that alone can help them to, when they go to that dealership to be, proud. Not have to be like, I don't know if I'm going to get pre-approved. We were already past that part.
In those type of scenarios, when you're determining like the loan application or approval for them, is there any requirements on there for attending any of your financial literacy courses or anything like that to kind of help instill that,
Yeah,
right? So we don't run into those same problems again.
Yeah, that is something that we are kind of still working on right now. We've talked about it, of course, because we don't want that pattern to go back to that pattern. Right. So we definitely always invite them to our financial literacy, but kind of as we do some of the higher risks or kind of as we're growing, of course, those are some things that we've already kind of talked about implementing in there. Yeah.
You guys are different rates. How do you go about setting your rates? I know you got old car versus new car. You've got credit score here, this credit score. You got member versus non-member. How's this set? How do you do that?
Yeah, I'll tell you guys. It's going to shock you. So when I started in 2021, our auto rate was 4% across, no matter what your credit score was. And then, of course, a year or so, I was like, hey, you guys, we're not making any money. Right. So, so we do a tier, the loan committee, we do a tier. So depending on, 2020 and up is considered new. And so there's a tier for those, broken down by whatever your credit score is. There are some tiers, for the credit score. And then we don't do anything 10 years older than 10 years because of course we don't want them to get a car 3 months from now. There's a major issue and then they stop paying for it, right? So we do the 10 years and above.
Okay.
And we do also offer vehicle service agreements and GAP. So if there is a vehicle that's not 10 years, but maybe it's 8 years, old, so they can get an extended warranty through us, that we offer that as additional service. So yeah, they can get that through us.
Just for clarification purposes, because you did mention one thing at the beginning of the episode, where we talked about different bank credit unions being not-for-profit, but then you said we're not making any money. What does that mean? Difference between making money and not-for-profit?
So of course, loans, credit unions, we make our money off the loans. Loans provide assets back to the credit union, and so that's what I mean. So at that 4%, yeah.
Yeah, the bank's making money, but it's making money to have to be able to stay open, keep the doors open, to
and so
operate, to be able to have money to lend out, right?
we needed to raise our rates. That was kind of, again, as the credit union was at the level that it was within just the church and their members. So that worked at that time, but as we were growing, we needed to raise our rates. And so even right now, our highest rate is 14%.
Anything else that I know we've been asking you a lot of questions, but anything that maybe we didn't ask you that you think would be important for our audience to know? Whether about the credit union, just banking in general, financial literacy, anything that you think would be important?
I'm real passionate about financial literacy because I'm all about doing better. Again, as I stated, I didn't always have good credit, the best credit, and made the best financial decisions. And so financial literacy just kind of keeps you accountable. And so our financial literacy team, like I said, they've kind of stepped it up this year, and we're really going strong with it to make a difference of individuals. Our last one for the youth, we had over 30, between 30 kids and adults. It was a total attendance, of 30 individuals. So that was good. We thought that was great.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So coming up on time here, anybody have any additional questions for Diane?
I do. I actually have a question. So, Miss Diane, do you have any social media business cards out there so we can get your name out there to let people know that you are in the community and you are ready to serve them?
Yeah, we have a on a website, www.ubcfcu.org. We're located at 1830 Wayne Trace in Suite 204. Our phone number is 260-456-1802. You could always stop by, give a call, make an appointment, or you can just stop by. You don't have to have an appointment. And if your organization or your church is interested in joining Urban Beginnings Choice, we'd love to have you grow with us in our community.
Awesome. Thank you, Diane. So, JJ, we got anything on the agenda for the financial pillar?
We don't. Just be on the lookout coming up. I think May 21st. We're still working out the logistics, but when we talk about youth, Diane, we will be looking out for you. Ben, your skill, I heard you mention investments, but we're going to set up like a workshop, and it's going to be geared towards the young people. So as soon as that venue gets set, we will let our people know.
So we got some things in the work coming up here
There
for
you
summertime
go.
and some seminars, things like that. So, well, Diane, thank you very much for joining us here on the All About the Money show. We really appreciate it.
Yes.
And
Thank you,
I
guys.
definitely learned some things as well today too. So, new face, Ben,
Yes.
thank you for joining us today. We'll be seeing you more often, right?
Thank you for having me. Yes, and I look forward to it.
Yeah. And Terrence, always good to see you.
Always.
Yeah. So, until next time, we'll be back in 2 weeks. We are Our Neutral Voices. Peace.